Okay, what's up guys? I'm gonna do another tutorial because I've been asked for it a lot of times, and this style is kind of relevant right now since Nocturnal was hopefully coming out soon. But I'm gonna be showing how you guys how to make like osamason type beats, like rock, gyro, legion, all them guys like Warren Hunter and everything. This one's kind of more like rock style or like maybe gyro kind of um thing, but I've noticed with these nocturnal beats, like a lot of the snippets are either like stuff he's already done, or they're kind of like a new kind of style, like a more upbeat or like Whole Lotta Red V2 kind of thing. Even maybe you could call it that. But for the melody, I'm gonna start off with that. I have this pluck here, playing this pattern. And that's a pretty simple pattern, and it's also a stock sound on Serum. It's just, I edited it a bit. I always do that. I always, change my sounds up and everything. But then we have this second pluck coming in. Comes in here, but I'm just going to play the full pattern here. So again, stock sound in Serum, tweaked a bit. But that pretty much sounds, like the same pattern as the other one, just a little bit different. And then I have that again in Electra, which is, I don't know if that's common for osamason type beats, but maybe these newer kind of ones, this newer style, which is more like plucky and kind of more like plucks and arps kind of thing, um, rather than like really really harsh synths. Um, but I have this. I think this is an arp. Pretty much the same pattern as the other things. That's a stock sound as well. And then let me check this sound. I think this is another arp as well. This is my favorite sound in the beat, I think. Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite sounds. Pretty cool. But basically for these beats, and for some beats in general, you kind of want a lot of like really cool, unique sounds with a lot of high end, so that like the bass like punches through, but like the high end kind of cuts through the bass, so you're kind of just hearing this like squelchy sound, and it's kind of like lo-fi and really cool. And a lot of songs have that effect. Like almost all of his songs have that kind of like effect. But then there's this. I don't know if it's a lead or this like a little, yeah, screamer, which is. That's just the same pattern over and over again, but the patterns aren't like so important as long as they're good. Like the most important thing for these beats is your sound selection, because you can have like a really good pattern, but if the sound sounds like not good, then it's not gonna be as good. Like this lead wouldn't be as crazy if it was like this. Like that doesn't sound nearly as crazy as this. You know what I'm saying? So the sound selection is definitely one of, if not the most important things for your melodies, if with these type of beats specifically. But also osamason seems to really like vocal synths. Like Vocaloid synths are just synths that have kind of voices in them, like you see it on Mine and Pop, and there's this leak I think samples some song, and then obviously LeBron James is like a very famous one. Like LeBron James and Pop are probably the most notable that have like that kind of vocal synth in them, and he loves doing that, or stuff that just sounds like voices. But I think this is one of those kind of synths. Again, I think this is another stock sound Electro. Yeah, it is. Droid wobble panic button. I don't really know what that means, but see, it's like it kind of sounds like a robot voice or something. And I have this other one, which is kind of just a texture. It's really like squelchy sound. Sounds like something in like Yayo, like the song by Ken Carson. Or doesn't that like it sounds like another Ken Carson song? There's a Ken Carson song that has that sound in it, I think. But moving on to the drums, they're pretty simple. Just like like I kind of did these not exactly how like most osamason drums. Like they're kind of pretty much how he would do them, but or how his producers would, but they're a little bit more spaced out than usual. Like a lot of his beats have this kind of like 16th note, just like like hi-hat thing. Um, but you don't have to do that. But that's kind of just like this signature style. And I have voxes and stuff like that and open hats. Just stuff to give it more like character and like build up your drums more. Like just ear candy and stuff is very important. I have this gyro 808, which is like pretty cool in this kit, I think it is, yeah. But this is it. Pretty simple pattern, but you know, I think it gives it good progression. I also put it on kind of like a lot of times you wouldn't put the 808 on like here, which is on like the first beat, the second bar. Like usually you'd have it like over a bit, but I just thought it sounded pretty cool with the plucks and everything, because everything in this beat is quite stagnant, or not like stagnant, but like it's very like on the grid, like a march. Like it's like doom 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 doom, like that kind of thing, rather than like a really squelchy like crazy osamason beat. But then there's this 808 too. I think that's the exact same pattern as the other one. And then this one is my favorite pattern, my favorite 808 pattern. It's so cool. I just really like that pattern. I think that like the harmonies between like the rest of the sounds and the bass when it goes up an octave or goes up a couple semitones just sounds really cool, and it gives it some variety. Because in a lot of beats, a lot of rock beats, like he likes to use different 808s or use really unique 808s because he's just a really cool producer. And I have my tag here, which is hold on.
Charlie? What?
I played it at the same time as this chant.
Charlie? What?
Because it also says what. I thought that sounded kind of cool. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it for this beat. Just a lot of like really cool synths and really like unique sounds put together, and then I just have it formatted pretty regularly. It's kind of longer and more like thought out than the usual osamason beat, but it's still pretty cool. And then this is like everything together.
Charlie? What?
Pretty much it. For mixing, I don't do a lot to the master. Yeah, there's literally nothing on the master. If you have Fruity Limiter on, take it off for these beats, because the bass is so loud. It's usually clipping, and when you have a limiter that's the ceiling is too low, it's gonna make everything sound really muddy and compressed. So when the bass hits, it's gonna make everything quieter but not distort it. And then when it leaves, everything's gonna sound really loud again. It's gonna be mixed like shit. If you take the limiter off, the bass kind of like just morphs all the other instruments and kind of like just distorts them without making it sound like really muddy. At least that's how I do it. I usually boost the low end a tiny bit and I boost the high end a good bit. This one I didn't do that much, but I really like it to sound crisp and really nice on the ears. For the rest of the sounds, there's nothing on this. Nothing on this. Generally just turning up and down the volume on most of these sounds. I have a Grosby on this, but it's not, yeah, it's not even playing. So yeah, I literally have nothing on a lot of these sounds. Bass taken out here where it's necessary, just to have a good mix. Pretty much just parametric EQ on all these things. I didn't even use that distortion. But I don't really do a lot to the sounds because it's usually your sound selection that makes it. You can't just add 20 million EQs to some shit sound. It's not gonna make it better, but will make it better, but it won't. It's not as good as just picking good sounds, which is important. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. If you've watched this far, thank you. Please, I guess, like and subscribe. I don't know, I sound like a YouTuber, but yeah, see ya.